Hello, and welcome to Patty's Kitchen Garden and More. Welcome in, Patty Cake Crew. We are going to do a little quick live today. Hopefully, it will help some people. It will remind some people of some things that they already know. I am going to give you some safety tips and childproofing uh, information, and I am going to show you some different childproofing things that you can get for your home to childproof your homes. So welcome in Tay Weezy, welcome in Jackson Street. Thank you so much for being here. Cooking with the Spice Queen. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. I don't have the thumbnail up, but I will put a thumbnail up after this live is over. But we're just going to spend a few minutes talking about child proofing and child safety. We talk a lot about keeping children safe, keeping them safe from predators and all of these things, but today we're going to talk about childproofing the home. Welcome in, Tim. Thank you so much for coming. And I think many people can benefit from this, and I thank the ones who will listen to the replay. I thank the ones who may be in the background, may be unable to come in or unable to talk in this conversation. Thank you, Tim, for the directives. Thank you so much. But we're going to get straight to it. We don't wait for anybody to come in because while we're waiting, other people will be leaving. So I learned that a long time ago in doing another business. Just start talking right where we are. If nobody's here but one person, or even if I'm talking to myself, just start the conversation. Okay, childproofing your home and safety tips. A child should have a safe place to play and explore because young children love to play, they love to explore, they're very inquisitive. And we want to prevent injuries and accidents because accidents can happen so quickly before we can turn our heads and look back around. Something has happened. So we want to prevent these things from happening to our children. We want to keep them as safe as we can keep them. One rule of thumb: don't allow the children to be in the kitchen while you're cooking. I learned this very early on in my life as a child of about maybe 10 years old, 10 or 11 years old. My younger brother was in the kitchen with my mom back in the days, and she was cooking. She was making some roux on the stove top. And she had this skillet. It wasn't an iron skillet, it was a skillet that had a screw on handle. When she went to pick up that skillet to pour that roux in whatever she was cooking, the handle turned. The baby was right there by her, and the baby was probably about a year and a half to 2 years old at the most. And the baby was right by her side, and when that handle turned on that pot, on that skillet, it splattered up and down that child's leg, outer leg. And that was really, really a sad time. And he has a bad burn scar on one of his legs today. And he's a grown, older man. And so First off, don't let your children be in the kitchen with you. I'm always telling my grandson and even my older grandson, when he was young, I kept him out of the kitchen at my home. And I often talk about what happened to my brother. And I keep my younger grandson out of the kitchen. I am forever saying, get out of the kitchen. If we have kitchens that we can block off with a gate to keep the young ones out, please, please do it. And I'm talking from experience and what happened to my young brother. So we have to be very, very mindful of things because things can happen so quickly. And I'm going to talk about some other things, not just the kitchen, but other things. And let's see what Cooking with Spice Queen said. Yes, yes, and yes. Just start talking. Yes, Spice Queen. Yes, yes. I tell my youngest granddaughter to stop putting her face to the stove where that chicken grease is popping. Yes. So that little one has to stay away from the stove part. Yes, you're right. Because things happen so quickly. You know, they call them freak accidents or whatever. Yes, Tim, it was horrible. And I mean, that child's leg was just raw and just, oh my goodness. But he overcame it. He healed and all of that. But just think of the pain a less than 2 year old must have been experiencing. So that's one thing that happened to come to my mind, as I got started talking. Another thing, please keep the windows and doors locked. Let me say that once more. Please keep the windows and doors locked and keep furniture away from the window because young ones like to climb. They love to climb. So we have to protect them by keeping furniture or things they can climb on away from the window. And one thing in my daughter's and son-in-law's home, they had one TV that was on a stand. And I was very uncomfortable with that. And I told them, I said, and with the smart TVs, how they have these little stands that they stand on is not really substantial in my opinion. So I told her, I said, that is not good with that TV on that stand because their little one is very inquisitive. He would get the remote and he would go from this channel to this channel, that channel, and whatever. Very bright, very smart, and he's clicking. And I said, he doesn't need to be standing right in front of the TV. So finally, they had the technician come out and put that particular TV on the wall. And they have three TVs on the wall. The one in the great room, the one in their room are all on the wall. So I was really grateful for that because I have heard somewhere where a child pulled down a TV on himself and was injured. So we have to be thoughtful when we have little ones around. We have to be very, very thoughtful all the time in keeping them safe. Hey Frank, welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hi, the everyday life of an OCD is Chick Nikki. Thank you for listening, working on a project. I understand. Yeah, you work with young children. Safety is very important. Yes, it is. Accidents happen so quickly. Yes, indeed, they do, Nikki. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your support. And thanks to all of you for your support. So I felt much better when they had that TV mounted to the wall. So no TVs in their home now is in reach of the little ones. Okay, another thing is gates. The gates. If you have stairs and you have little ones, please put gates at the bottom of the stairs and at the top of the stairs because we don't want to hear tell of a child tumbling down the stairs. So let's keep those gates up. Even if you have an entrance way into the kitchen or any area where there is not a door, put a gate there to keep these children safe. And I'm going to show you some things and ways they have child-proof their home. And they child-proof their home before their first child arrived. So it's good to, if you're having a baby, child-proof your home before that baby comes home, before you have that baby. And this is one thing the pediatrician talked to them about before, when they met with him, before, I think it was before the child was born or shortly after. Be sure and have the home child-proof. This is safety. And I know of a situation where one of my relatives had a young child to get into some meds and had to go to the hospital. We don't want to have to go through these things because the child is experiencing difficulties. Well, two family members had a child to get into medicine and had to go to the hospital. And I know one at least had to have the stomach pumped, young children. So we don't want these things to happen because they happen so quickly. And with meds, they are not child-proof. They may be cap resistant, but they are still not child-proof. Some of these children are strong enough and smart enough that they can turn these caps on these meds and get into them. So we don't want that issue. Let's keep meds in a medicine cabinet that's high up, or keep them somewhere locked up to where young ones cannot reach them. We want to be very, very careful about that. Do not leave young children on a bed alone or on a changing table, not anywhere alone, because they move around, they roll, they tumble, they twist, and you may think, oh, this baby is 1 month old, this baby cannot do this. Well, I have seen some 1 and 2 months old already turning and moving and sliding around. So let's be so careful about that. When the children start to crawl, make sure the floors are clean, nothing is on the floor dropped, no sharp objects or anything like that. Let's be careful about things and look around our homes, examine our homes to make sure nothing of danger is in reach. I'm going to go to the chat in just a few minutes. Hey, Miss T, welcome in. Welcome in, Matthew. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate each and every one of you. So let's not wait until a situation arises or wait until something happens and then we're scurrying around trying to make things safe. Let's prevent accidents from happening. Please keep your cabinets locked, your drawers on your cabinets locked. Keep your bathrooms and pantries and closets child-proof. Keep cigarette lighters, any type lighters, matches, household cleaners, laundry detergents, sharp objects, and of course I've talked about meds. Keep these things out of the reach of children. And let's just watch our children, not just from the predators that are out here, but in home. Let's make sure that our children are safe at all times. And if we are taking them to daycares or to home daycares to be kept, ask these people to let you tour the place and look around to see that everything is secure. Let's have things secure. Let's not have, well, laundry rooms should be childproof anyway, because you got a dryer in there. You don't want a child to get in a dryer. One of my cousins told me when her son was young, he hid in the dryer. That is very dangerous. That is very, very dangerous. Let's keep these things closed tight, and the older children can pull these things open. So let's talk to our older children and let them know the dangers of doing certain things. Let's try and teach them. Many of us may have children or grandchildren with disabilities, and we have to really explain and work with them and talk to them about the danger of getting into certain things or opening things, or but we still have to watch them. We have to watch them because a lot of times they really don't understand, and we just have to be careful. I used to foster children. And another thing, before I get into that, let's have some working, functioning fire extinguishers in our home. And that was one of the safety tips when I fostered children for the Department of Human Resources. One thing was I had to have fire extinguishers in the home, and they had to be checked, they had to be tagged, that they had been inspected, that they are in full effect, and all of this to pass the test. And we're talking about child proofing, but coupled with that, even for our own safety, let's have smoke detectors. Let's have um, alarms, different alarms in our homes. Now, in my home, I have burglar alarm. All of my windows are monitored. So that is a safety tip. We never had a problem, never an issue of anything even ever stolen from us, but it's just a safety measure. And I have the carbon monoxide device in my home to measure the carbon monoxide, and it is in an area entering into the owner's suite of my home. So let's be mindful of safety tips for all of us, the children first, and for the adults. Always do a double check on the burners being on off, the oven being on off. Just do a double check. Even when I'm leaving home, as grown as I am, I have to remember to let my garage down, my garage door. I've never left it open, but I'm very mindful, and I will talk to myself. When I let down the garage door, I will always say, garage door down. That sends a message to my brain so that when I get down the road, I won't be wondering, did I let that garage? This works for me. This works for me. And like one of my friends says, she asked, and I do too, Holy Spirit, help me. And I ask the same thing, help me to remember. But as a mental note to myself, I started saying garage door down, because I have gotten away from my drive down the street, and I say, did I leave that? Did I let down that door? And then I'll go all the way back home, and it's always been down. So I started making a mental note and speaking it out aloud to myself so I can remember I spoke this and I did let the garage door down. These are just a few safety tips. I grew up in a home where we didn't sleep in a dark house. My mom had night lights all over the house, and the bathroom lights stayed on all night, and outside lights. Well, I have that practice today. I will not sleep in a dark house. Some people say they have to sleep in a dark house. They don't want night lights. Well, it's just the opposite for me. People grow up differently, and whatever you grow up with, this is probably what will carry over. Welcome in, Bud Files. Welcome in, Tamika Davis. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much. And I hope I didn't miss any comments. Thank you, Nikki, for liking and sharing. Please don't forget to give the thumbs up. And I thank you all for being here. So, I mean, I just feel better with a night light on. I feel better with a porch light burning or a driveway light on. And, because the devil doesn't like light, he is in total darkness. And when I say that, I mean you can have people lurking around your home when it's dark, but if you have some light out there, they may go to the next house that is dark. So that's just my thought, and that works for me. Not telling anyone else what to do or how to do, but that is just what I do. So, as I said, this is not a long video, just some common sense things to think about for safety, for our children, for our grandchildren, for our extended family, because I have seen things happen in my family and others that could have been prevented. And another thing, a very serious thing, if you have firearms, be sure and have safety on the firearms and have a vault to lock up and use caution and care with those things, because in my city I have read about certain accidents and things that have happened with young children, children being unalive because of a lack of responsibility and just being thoughtful, things that could have been prevented. So that is another safety tip. Please don't leave these things around on your nightstand, on your dressers, on your chest of drawers. Immediately lock them up, put the safety on, and lock them up in a vault or in some place where a child cannot get to. So let's be mindful, let's be careful, let's prevent accidents and incidents from happening, because we don't want to be crying over something that could have been prevented. And we don't want to hear of these things. We don't want to be saddened, because I'm always saddened to hear about things happening with children. Uh, some things seemingly could have been prevented, but let's not be thoughtless. Let's not be careless. Let's take responsibility to protect our children from everything, from every situation, from all dangers, and what have you. And that is my spiel for today. Rosalie, how are you doing? Thank you so much for coming. I'm going to look at the comments and try and speak to everyone. And then I'm going to take you around and show you some safety things that are here in this home. Okay, retirement, how are you doing? Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. I am grateful for you being here. And I'm grateful for the ones who will watch the replay and make comments or what have you and give thumbs up. Thank you so much, Nikki. You're always a great supporter. Tamika Davis, you're an outstanding supporter. Bud Files, everyone. Retirement Days, Spice Queen, Tim, all of you. Miss T with the T, thank you all so much. Thank you so much. So I am going to take you on a little tour. just to show you some things, how this is the home of my daughter and son-in-law, and they have two young children, and this is the way that they have protected their home. Okay, so, and I'm gonna uh, tell you what everything is as we walk along. Okay. Okay, now I have mine. I see somebody speaking to Kenneth. I didn't see Kenneth, but welcome in, Kenneth. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much. Back in the bushes. Okay, Nikki. All right. Let's get started with the tour. And I will explain. I won't show you everything, but I will show you just to give you an idea of some things that you can get to childproof. And they got these things from Amazon. They ordered them from Amazon. So let's just look right here. This, let me see. Okay, can you see? This is a closet. And as you can see, this childproof, okay, that's on the knob. Even down to the bed. My grandson has I'm going to show you his bed. It's let me see, can you see it? It's so low. It's I guess you call it a junior bed. Let's see if I can show you. But it's not a high bed. So this is a safety bed as well. If he falls on the floor, it won't be, too far from the bed because he's almost on the floor on this bed. Okay, and this is another, when they don't want him in a particular room, they can always close the door. And as you can see, this is another childproofing. And the bathrooms are childproof, bedrooms, closets, and let's see, let's go on here. Okay, let me show you. And this is another room that is childproofed. And let's go over here. I'll show you. The laundry room is also childproofed. Here's another one. I'm not showing you all. I'm just giving you an idea of what they look like. And I spoke about cabinets. And let's see. You see this white device, I guess you can call it, on one cabinet. And here's another cabinet that is childproofed. And this is a drawer. And as you can see here, I cannot, I hope you can see, really open this drawer. This is what is used, and it's magnetic. I'm going to not put it so close to the camera. This is a magnetic thing, and it goes right here to open the drawer. And you can see here how it opens the drawer. And the other part of it is right here in the drawer. I don't know if you can see it. But this is how this drawer is secure. You must have this, and it has a magnet, and it is kept up high on the refrigerator. And this one is on the cabinet. All of the lower drawers are childproof. I think I did show you this one over here. As you can see, this one cannot open. And this one is also childproof. So these are some ways that you can childproof your home. I hope I'm holding this camera right so you can see. what it is here. Okay. So that's about, oh, and another thing, plugs. Let me show you the plugs that are childproof as well. Okay. Let's see. Well, this is a night light here, but as you can see, when this night light is not here, these, can you see that? I hope you can see. Well, I just moved that, but right here you can see the child proofing plug to stick into that. Okay. And let me show you what one was on the table. I thought I could show you. Well, I don't see it, but anyway. And this is an area where they put the TV up on the wall in this area. They had it down here. Hope you can see that. They had it on a stand right here, but then they got the man to come and move it and put it on the wall. So that is so much better. And even here, you can see these strips of tape. Since this is brick, I told my daughter, get something and put it here because this is brick, you know, to prevent any scrapes or scratches, and even down to here. They have that. And then they put pillows there to cover that. So we have to think about all kinds of things to protect as much as possible. So that's about it, guys. That's about all I have for you. But I just wanted to, this might help somebody. It may enlighten somebody on what they can do to childproof. Yes, the brick is hard, yes, and you can always get scrapes and scratches. So that's why when I saw that, I told my daughter, we need to put some tape here, and she did. They got the tape and put it there, and then put pillows there. You know, all of these things to keep our children protected. Welcome in. I thought I saw somebody. Lisa J. Stocks, welcome in. Blessings to you as well, Rosalie. Welcome everybody here. And let's see, Tamika, sorry. Stepped away from keyboard, but was listening. Okay, thank you for listening. Sue, thank you for being here. I see Tim speaking to you. Okay. Yeah, so I just, I was just thinking about things that we could do as I looked around, and I said, oh, this is something I can talk about. This is something that is needed that I can talk about. I didn't show you all of the rooms because I never went to the owner's suite of the home, but they have childproofing in that room. I didn't show you all of the bedrooms either, but I did try to show you, just to give you an idea, the types of things you can get to childproof the home, and they're not so expensive. When it comes to safety, you think about, it's not that expensive to prevent something from happening, and all meds or things like that, or vitamins, minerals, herbs, or whatever, they put those high up in the cabinets. So those meds are out of the way as well. So I'm here babysitting today. So I just thought, I said, well, while I'm sitting here, let me talk about some child safety tips. Okay, so you have a neighbor, Nikki. Thank you all for speaking to each other, interacting with each other. Thank you all for coming. And I hope that this little segment helps somebody or help you to help a family member. If you don't have children, if you don't have grandchildren, at least to help somebody that may need to hear it, may need to be reminded. And it's not that people don't know, but sometimes people don't really think about different things. So yes, let's just be thoughtful. Let's just be mindful. And I hope you all have a wonderful day wherever you may be. If you're in a cold area, if it is snowing where you are, I know you already know how to keep yourselves warm and dry and wrapped up in boots and gloves and hats, coats, and all of that. Be careful. And I'm down here in the south, and it's a little cold here, but nothing like in the northeast or the north or the Midwest. But it gets pretty cool down here at night. It gets to be in the 30s and the 40s, and that is cold down here in the south. So, guys, thank you all for listening, and I hope this helps somebody or it reminds you to talk to somebody else about this or to remind them, because sometimes, as busy as life gets, we don't always think. And we have so many other things going on, and with life being like it is, we don't always think about some things that we should think about. We're busy carrying on with other things going on in our lives, but let's not forget the children. So, guys, I will talk to you on the next one. Thank you so much for coming and listening. And you all have a great and wonderful Saturday, Sunday, and Sunday will begin a new week for us. So have a great day today and a great week next week. And I will talk to you guys on the next one.